Hi and welcome back once again. Stefan Karl here, and it's time for a deeper dive than before into the Queen of Spades spread, and we're going to do that by following the overlying cards, or the root and future, as I'm probably gonna call them more. I want to avoid using the word card too many times in a sentence. It will be complicated when I'm gonna speak about the overlying card of the Venus card that goes over to the underlying card of the Sun card, so root and future. I would call it destiny, but then we have destiny cards, so that's confusing too. That's another system, right? So root and future means the same thing. I also like to think of the underlying card, the root card, as the soil from which this beautiful plant, the card itself, is sprouting, is growing. We grow into this experience based on a previous experience. Now, what I'm going to do in this video, and probably every overlying video, is to follow the energy, the flow of energy around the card, and it's going to be quite a journey, quite a wild journey. It's like a roller coaster, really. And if you try to follow every step and take it very textual and like take notes and so on, I think you are going to be overwhelmed. It's too much, and I don't think it's that meaningful, really, unless you're going to specialize on exactly this card because maybe it's your birth card or something. But rather lean back, look at it from a distance, and get a feeling of what is this card about. And hopefully you will find some fascination in see how the energy approaches a theme and repeats it and works around. Normally, I would say in every spread there will be cycles of themes that repeats, so we go in cycles, in loops, around in our spread, like learning the same lessons over and over again, as if the purpose of life, purpose of having an experience here on earth would be to get to know these energies, right? In this case, the person is here to really have a deep experience of what is it to be a Queen of Spades, and then leave for another card, right? For another experience. So around and around it goes in the spread, and there are, I would say, a few cards that repeat themselves, but not every card is involved. There is repetition of some cards in every spread, as you're gonna see. It's quite interesting. Like the cards, every spread is focused on something special for that card. In most cases, a couple of themes. The reason I think we should study the underlying overlying cards and how it flows is that, I mean, there are several reasons. One is to getting a feeling for the card itself. One is it works like a scaffold, like a support for the very spread for these cards, right? Not the overlying, the cards. And when we study the scaffold, we can see the form of the building itself, really, right? So if we miss something in our first interpretation, the overlying card is going to tell us that, this aspect, or it tells us the deeply rooted reasons why we have an experience. What's the deeper purpose of this experience? Where is it leading? As I said, it's like a vector, right? It's a force with a direction. So it means something. Every experience goes in a certain direction, and that tells us what is it really that life wants to teach us by having that experience. Every experience is tied to another experience, and that is, I think, a fantastic school to see how life works really, right? So if we have a tough, let's say, 7 of diamonds experience, or in this case 7 of spades experience, it's a tough experience. The overlying card, 8 of hearts, wow, that's self-love. So if we consume this experience in a healthy way and don't get traumatized by going through hardships, but rather come through it completely as we should, right? Accepting 7 of spades, it's like being thrown into a grinder and being really hardly. It's a tough test by life, right? We're being beaten up. But if we accept life as it is and let energy flow, which we normally don't, we make resistance, and it doesn't work. Well, then we will have another try, because these cards come back over and over again, and finally we are going to come out in one piece, and look at ourselves and say, hey, wow, I survived this dreadful experience. And then 8 of hearts, self-love, is going to be the result of the experience. Okay. And then the next experience after that is to face losses, right? Losses, emotional losses. So 7 of spades is hardship, like illness, amputation, drug addiction, that kind of stuff. When we manage to let go of that experience without being traumatized, without any hang-ups, well, self-love, 8 of hearts, and that prepares us for the next experience, to letting go of something emotionally. Okay, to accept that our dear one dies or breaks up with us or something like it, right? So that's what the overlying cards learn us, and not only from the spread's perspective. I mean, you can apply that to life. You can apply that to a concrete reading. So when a 7 of spades experience show up in the concrete reading, like tarot type reading, casting, you can use this as a reference. You can use the idea of underlying card, and you know you can give better advice, because life is telling you the purpose of having these experiences, right? So that's one reason why we should study the overlying cards more, because it really reveals the secrets of life. But again, this is going to be a wild ride, and don't try to pay too much attention to the concrete cards or the concrete. I mean, rather take a step back and look how it all flows, and try to catch the main themes. Okay, so I'm going to start here with the underlying card that has already been analyzed to a degree in the first video about Queen of Spades. And the reason is not only because it's the underlying card of the birth card itself, but also because it relates to so many cards in the spread. We have 3 diamonds in the spread, and all these diamonds feed into this experience of being a Queen of Spades. Why? Because 10 is a fan of diamonds, right? From 1 to 9, all the 9s except the face cards, but the face cards are also, I mean, this is 1 to 3 really, right? Although it says Jack here. So this is a Jack, this is a 1 to 3 diamond, and it's a 9 of diamond, and it's a 4 of diamond. So all these experiences feed into the birth card. Every time a Queen of Spades has a 9 of diamonds experience, it feeds back, it strengthens their experience of being a Queen of Spades. Same with Jack of Diamonds. Same with 4 of Diamonds. But also with 5 of Diamonds, the overlying card here points in the same direction, right? Do we have any more? And 2 of Diamonds here on 6 of clubs. So this is fed by diamond experiences. And what is that? Well, it's the concrete word. It's something that works, something of value. It can be beauty. It can be a higher revelation, like a psychic experience, like in 9 of Diamonds. So dancing with the worldly manifestations feeds the experience of being a Queen of Spades. Now, what is a 10 of Spades? It's a skillful person, as I mentioned in the analysis. And I don't know if I pointed out how, to what a degree this makes Queen of Spades a very humble card, because what we bring with us as our underlying card, as our root, it's something that we already have with us, and it's banal. Do we say that in English? It's something very familiar to us, something that we probably don't reflect on, because it's like water, you know. The fish, I don't know, probably doesn't reflect much on water. It just exists in water, right? Nothing we have to speak about. So oftentimes the energy that we have on the root, on the underlying card and the birth card, it's just so natural to us, so that we don't appreciate it much. Like if someone would say to a Queen of Spades, to my uncle, for example, wow, you're such a skillful artist, drawer, who was good at drawing, right? Or you're such a skillful mouth organ player, he would probably shrug and say, well, it's like nothing to him, right? Because it's so natural. It's something that we bring with us in such a natural way that we don't even think about it. I mean, it's easy. Can't everyone do this? You would think. But it happens to be your special skill, the soil that your card is growing in, okay? And the answer is definitely no. It's not easy to be a highly skillful mouth organ player. And this means that Queen of Spades tends to be a very humble and very low-key card, because it's not important for them to gain fame. I mean, mostly when people want fame, it's because they need some kind of it's compensatory, right? They need some kind of verification that actually you are really good, you're a virtuoso, and what you are doing. And King of Spades just doesn't need that, because it's such a natural part of them, right? So it's a humbleness that comes out of having been there, having done that, right? It's like a gift from life. They don't need applause very much, because they know they can it, and so what, right? Actually, my uncle, who was, as I told you, a skillful mouth organ player, he played at a level. He could have been more or less famous, at least national, nation level. I don't say he was Stevie Wonder or something like that, but he was among folklorists, folk musicians. He could easily have been a name, right? And as a matter of fact, his nephew, who met him maybe 4 to 6 or 8 times a year during my lifetime, my childhood, so 50 or 100 times or more, I had no idea that he even had this skill. He didn't brag about it. He didn't bring his mouth organ. It wasn't there. It was only the last time when I saw him, when he was 81, I think, years old, that visiting him, that he took out the mouth organ. And I think the reason was because he wanted to show it to my kids, my children who were there. and started to play, and I was surprised because I had never even heard about this skill. As an illustration how natural it is for them to be skillful, and that natural humbleness, right? So, and then the overlying card is 8 of diamonds, so that's like what their experience is pointing towards. And 8 of diamonds is about, maybe it's the lesson for next lifetime, but they prepare for it here. And 8 of diamonds is where everything lines up. I mean, all 8s are mirrors. That's the purpose of 8. It's the card where we gain knowledge about ourselves through acting in the world, right? Except 8 of spades, which is really about ourself and our health and how energy flows within. But 8 of diamonds is all about learning to manifest in the outer world what I create within. Basically just lining up my chakras, just being in, find my equilibrium, and then when I'm lined up I can wish whatever I want, and universe is going to lay a golden egg, right? It's the magician, not the magician in the tarot deck who is manipulating, so maybe I shouldn't use that word, more like a real magician, like a Gandalf magician, right? It's the lucky card. It seems like luck. You ask for something and you keep walking, and 2 streets further down you find exactly the model of the car model you wanted, and the keys are sitting there and you are free to take it, right? That's 8 of diamonds. Lucky things seem to happen, or we call it luck. It's not luck, it's being aligned. So Queen of Spades is all about learning to be aligned and prepare for the next experience, which is, now let's see how the word is willing to give you what you want, because you are focused on being aligned. And focus on yourself and being mature, and not stop wasting energy on drama, right? So again, that's like the next experience. That's the result, or the what's written on the last line, in the book of what do we call it? Accountant, like the saldo. It's 8 of diamonds, the rest. But it also points towards the 8th position. Every number in the spread points towards a position with the same number, right? So the overlying card 8 of diamonds suggests that we should study the Rahu card. And what is the Rahu card? The Rahu card is the reason we are here, basically. According to Ernst Wilhelm, Rahu is the reason why we have an earth to be born into, right? Because we are here to learn. And Rahu card is what we do not know, and where we think that we might be an expert, and we are confused. And living on earth and coming here over and over again is to be exposed to Rahu experiences, getting to understand the word earth, this level of existence in a truthful way. And for that we have a body, and for that we have a family and a so-called reality, which according to the wise people is just a matrix, just an illusion created for us to find our truth, our personal equilibrium in Rahu. So Rahu card in a way is the most important card in any deck, right? Because it's really where we establish a relationship between our inner world and the outer world in any deck. If we cannot make the Rahu card work, we can never get our K2 card, and we can never fulfill our dharma, basically, right? So in any deck, it's in any spread, it's a central, almost the most important card. But in this case, it definitely is, because it's being pointed out by the overlying card. And interestingly, the experience of the Rahu position is very similar to 8 of diamond as an overlying card, because 4 of diamond tells us in this position, I mentioned it, but I'm going to repeat it, that 4 of diamond, it's about material security. You don't need it in an outer form if you have it within. If you embody, learn to embody material sufficiency, security, stability, you may let go of the form. Exactly what happened, I'm going to repeat a story, I'm going to try to make it short, that I told in the extra video, if you saw that, some of you maybe, some extra stories that I forgot about when I made this first video, the analysis of the spread. A story that I found quite important. I told you, or those who listen, about a gathering that we had in my family, when my grandmother would have turned 100 years. In the summer of 1995, she passed away 14 or 15 years earlier, but we decided to celebrate her. This very uncle, Karl Olof, the Queen of Spades uncle, he was kind of the leader, the natural leader of the family, not the eldest sibling, but still the one in charge. And everyone showed up, and we are quite a bunch. So 4 siblings in life, and like 12 or so grandchildren, maybe more. Let's see, 9. I think we are 12. And then many of them had children, so grandchildren. A bunch of close to 40 people, I would say, because there was also wives and so on. A clan of people, and we ate, and we socialized in the garden, and then we went down to this place a couple of hundred meters from anyway, where my grandmother had been born and grew up, and now it was just a ruin. And we came together there in some kind of celebration, keeping her memory and of her family, her father, and also my grandfather, and so on, and mentioning them, and maybe telling a story or two, I don't know, and I don't remember. But after that, my uncle Karl Olof declared the family dissolved. He dissolved the family. He told us that we must be realistic. Now I am the grandfather, and my siblings are grandmothers and grandfathers, and we are getting old. So within short, there will be new. I think some of my cousins already were grandfathers and grandmothers by then. There will be new generations, and let's face it, we cannot. There is no point trying to exist as a family in this form anymore. So by all means, you should interchange your addresses and phone numbers, and I think there was a list, everyone write down their address and phone number so we can keep in touch, and then this family is, I declare it dissolved. And the reason I tell you about it is because that's exactly what 4 of Hearts and 4 of Diamonds is all about. That in Saturn card, you don't need the security of 4 of Hearts in the outer world. Don't cling to emotional security. Don't cling to a home. Don't cling to a well, this would be a place, right? The birthplace of my grandmother. Don't cling to the identity of having a family, to belonging to a clan, because you don't need it. That's also a value. It's emotional, but it's also a value for many people, right? I belong to this people. I belong to this family. Maybe you are a nobleman, and you can be really sure in the word, because secure in the word, because I am a fon that and that, right? And what my uncle was saying, being the Queen of Spades that he was, is let's not cling to the form. Basically saying we don't need it because we are family. We are family for real. We have histories that go deep down in history. We have identity. We don't need the outer form. So let's dissolve. We are family to such a degree. There is such depth to the concept of family that we are manifesting by being here and through everything we have been living throughout the years, that we don't need the outer form. Let's break it. And he broke the outer form of being a family. And I think it was very, very revealing, revealing, of course, also liberating, right? And very healthy, and that's exactly what Queen of Spades are doing. But again, this is very similar to the Eight of Diamonds experience of manifesting things, being able to manifest the cow, what is it called? The magic cow from the mythology that brings you something that you just wish for something and it pops up. Well, this message is very, in the eighth, there's an eighth, the eighth position is very similar. It tells you that the emotional security, the material security, you must develop within, embody it. You can let it, you don't need it in the outer world. So it's like a lesson in what's to come, because this obviously is manifestation on a higher level. Now you can really ask for a Porsche or something, right? This is more like being secure, but there is a strong familiarity. And well, speaking about let's see, so Eight of Diamonds, we have another red 8 here, and of course there is something flowing over between 8 reds. It's not a diamond, but it's a twin card. Just let me tell you that the overlying card of 8 of hearts on the ecliptic is 7 of hearts, which is exactly letting go of something emotional, right? Also, if we follow the 4 energy here, it brings us over to, it sends us over to the Mercury card, the middle card here. It's a 4, it's stability, and out of that experience, 2 of clubs, there is also a sacrifice, a natural emotional sacrifice card, King of Hearts, which wants to sacrifice, right? So those are not the most potent streams, since it's not actually a diamond, it's a heart, but there is energy trickling also from here to there. That's a quite natural flow from 4 to the 4th position, and that develops into emotional hardship, emotional sacrifice. So that's a strong aspect of King of Spades, that they're really programmed to let go of emotional baggage and also attachment to material stuff. Both those red aspects, right? Diamonds, 4 of Diamonds more representing security, like material security, and 4 of Hearts representing that's emotional security. This is material security, okay? And well, that's the main task in life for Queen of Spades, to overcome that neediness. that clinginess, not being needy, not being clingy. So in a way, we could leave it here, because I think that's really the most important part. That's the essence to a degree. But there are more things. There is a wild ride beginning. Well, it depends on where you want to start, but I would say it starts here from 3 of spades on the Venus position. What is the Venus position? It's an oasis in the desert of life. I mean, there's so much hardship, so much struggle, but in Venus we actually get fed and nurtured, and we can get some good relationships and comfort and good stuff, right? So this begins with a experience of hardship, of having to grow. I already showed how in the year spread, the moon card of Queen of Spades has a very tough time in this age. 7, 9, 11. 5 of Spades dealing with stress. Jack years 8 and 10. Being an orphan, feeling abandoned, right? And 13, 9 of Spades, being a log on the ground, like being completely hollow, right? Very ego testing experience, like doesn't mother and father love me kind of experience, right? And then in the middle they have a 10 of diamonds experience, which is their overlying card, so they get strengthened in their identity in the middle of this with some experience when they are 12 years old. And then at 15, 14, that's tough too. King of diamonds, sacrifice of some kind. And then at 15 they have this lovely 9 of hearts experience. So then there is a major chord in the life that something opens up, like you can imagine the sound of a harp and the vision of a rainbow, right? So after this hardship something opens up and they become, I mean, they don't get traumatized. This is a break it or make it or break it experience, and for King of Spades they don't break, they are made by this hardship. So that's where the Venus experience starts. 3 of diamond, 3 of Spades is the little tree, the sapling that hasn't reached the security of 4, so they need to grow sturdier and bigger and with thicker bark and bigger roots that go deeper and so on, to be safe. So it really has to hurry up and grow quickly, or they are gonna eat you or burn you or drown you or whatever, right? And that experience, since it does not break them, it takes them to the experience of Jack of Diamonds, which is a delighted card. It's a very creative card. All jacks are creative, very creative, curious. This is a card that challenges, God, if you believe in God or the divine. It wants to bargain with existence, like, yeah, you can give me a little extra because I'm a fun guy, right? It's your favorite, you can, please God, give me a little extra. You don't have to treat me this hard, right? It's a very playful and quite challenging and mischievous card, who really wants to have fun and play and be playful. So that's a wonderful Venus experience that stems out of hardships, really, about the experience of growing, having to grow and being independent. So now they feel like in their right to bargain with life itself and being funny and being selling the best version of life to life itself, telling them that I should have a little extra, I should have it easy, you should give me a little extra because I'm fun and I'm creative. And that energy leads over to Can you see the overlying card is Jack of Clubs? So the underlying card of Jacks of Club on their Sun card is Jack of Diamonds. So from the Venus card, not only is it a 1, it's a 1, 2, 3. It's a 1 with a face. This is the first position. So for that reason already there is a current of energy of this experience leads over to this experience, but also because it's the very overlying card here, leading over the energy to this card. So the Venus position, their hardship years help them to become creative, to be fun, and that strengthens their Sun experience, which is the student coming together with 2 of Clubs. Strong connection here between Mercury card, which is how they handle their default state of handling any situation, to study, connect to knowledge, learn stuff, reading the manual and so on, and in general being curious. There is a strong element of inspiration in the Jack of Clubs card, right? Like an ace of clubs, and also developing a creative thinking, which is 3 of Clubs. So both these cards together makes Queen of Spades a creative monster, in a good sense, right? They want to play around. They want to develop their intelligence. They are not at all interested in gaining fame, but they want to express their creativity. Okay. Out of that experience, they gain the wonderful experience of 10 of Hearts, which is everything is fun. Everything is fun. Word is a good place, emotionally a good place to be. And that will help them. I mean, 10 of Hearts, again, 10s is a fan. It's all the cards from 1 to 9. So that energy is going to strengthen every heart position, which is 4 of Hearts in Saturn. It helps them to let go of clinginess, not to be clingy in when it comes to emotional security, because the experience of having fun, being playful, being a student, learning stuff and so on, feeds. Can you see, out of that experience, the experience of 4 of Hearts and all the hearts is fed, right? So it helps them to let go of emotional security, not being clingy. They don't need to cling something outer, something that exists in the outer world, like a home, like a dependency on some person, because this card produces that experience all the time. The Sun card produces the experience of security, emotional security. Okay. Also, it feeds their Ecliptic card, the experience of being good with themselves, basically. 8 of Hearts. I don't need much. They don't need. I was speaking on behalf of Queen of Spades when I said that. Queen of Spades does not need anyone to love them. Like, not even their mother. After a certain age, at least. Because they produce their own love. And they do it by growing to an independent person, indulging in creativity, having fun, use their skills. The skill is the 10 of Diamond here is feeding, the 8 of overlying card here is feeding, well, I don't know, this experience anyway feeds their skill, their capacity for being skillful, and it produces love, and among it self-love, the Ecliptic card. So they really don't need any external love, which makes them extremely independent. And speaking about underlying cards and hearts, emotional connection, it's interesting to see that we do not find one underlying card, heart card as an underlying card. Can you see that? Not in the whole spread. Not one of the 13 cards, 14 with this one, has a heart as an underlying card. So that's not the soil for any experience in their lives, except, I would say, Jack of Spades. Yes, it's true. Jack of Diamond is the underlying card of Jack of Spades. But remember, Jack of Spades is first and foremost an inspirational experience. It's Ace, 2 and 3 of clubs, but it's strongest in the Ace. And we know that the underlying card for the Ace is 2 of hearts, which is the strongest heart card of them all. It's all about emotional connection. So even though we don't see it here, there is a hidden influence. There is a strong influence from 2 of hearts to connect. Because if you don't connect emotionally to something, you cannot find inspiration, right? And Jack of clubs is all about inspiration. So again, actually there is a hidden 2 of hearts here. They need emotional connection to something for this to happen. Okay, for 10 of hearts to open up like a flower, you know. This is like the soil, isn't it beautiful? This is the soil, this is the earth, and this is the plant that grows. Jack of clubs, the student, the expansive mind, the inspired mind, the youthful mind. Did you see the drawing my daughter had done with my uncle? He was 81 years old and he was playing with hand dolls. That's Jack of clubs for you, or Jack of diamonds. And out of that comes emotional happiness. So that's quite astonishing, I think. What more? Here we have, it might be that this carries on in some way. I mean, a 10th takes us not only to the ecliptic card, not only for being an aid of being another heart. 10th is every heart, also 8 of hearts, so it takes the energy over here, but it's also the 10th. The 10th position. And the overlying card, 7 of hearts, takes us to the 7th position. At least there is a trickle of energy here. And again, it will strengthen their experience of giving up something. And it so happens to be a 7 of hearts, which within itself has a 4 of hearts. Why? Because every 7 turns into develops into an experience of something new and something steady. Let's leave the newness apart for now, but something steady is a 4. Why? Because 7 square, so 7 times 7 is 49. 49, if we sum up the numbers, 4 plus 9 is 13. Well, we'll do that again. 1 plus 3 in 13 sums up to 4. So numerological wise, a 7, something breaks down, something ceases to be, something is over with or is starting to decline. Well, out of that, even if it's a destruction, something new, a new stable reality is born, which is the 4. So the ecliptic experience through its overlying card, this is fed by the sun experience. The ecliptic card is fed by the sun experience, which is fed by the Venus experience, and from here, well, it feeds the Saturn experience, which in turn ends up with a 10 of spades, struggling with problems, struggling with dealing with stuff. 10 is all the spades, so this resonates in every position here, among them the Mars position, which strengthens them, but also the very ecliptic. I mean, there is a cycle going on here, because 10 strengthens the 10th card. So there is a repetition, like it's being what do you call it, like there is a repetition, like you have to let go, and doing it over and over and over again until you master the experience, right? Then we have this interesting cycle starting with King of Diamonds. Well, we have 8 of Diamonds here. 8 of Diamonds hides within the King of Diamonds, so in a way it comes from the life, the birth card experience, if you want to. Sometimes it's hard to say where an experience starts, but let's start here with a life card leading over here to the King of Diamond as an root experience of 7 of Spades. And what is 7 of Spades? It's in Mars position. 7 of Spades are hardship, like real hardships, not just a stressful situation which they despise. They really don't want to be in a stressful situation. They want to be around mature people, have mature experiences, and not having to deal with, drama and shit. But if they have to deal with some real problems, like being in a war, or having to be maybe they could be good, they could be wonderful surgeons, for example, and perform at a high level. Well, they could, but they don't want to specialize. But let's say an improvised surgery in a wartime, they would be the best for that. Why? Because on the Saturn, on Mars position, it's something that they easily comes easy to them, and when it's gone, they just leave the experience. So you're not going to hear a Queen of Spades speak a lot about the hardships in life, because they're hardly going to remember it. They don't have that hang-ups, right? Maybe they had some really hard moments, and in Mars position, when the experience is over, you just leave it. They don't identify with hardships or being able and dealing with hard stuff, but they have a high capacity for it. So they're probably the best person to be around in a really life-threatening situation, actually. And it goes back to this capacity for this making sacrifice. King of Diamonds sacrifice, and especially 9. And again, it feeds their ecliptic card, which is 8 of Hearts, right? So the Mars experience, dealing with really tough stuff in a very mature and easy, it's easy for them to do that. And almost I have a 7 myself on the Mars position, so I think I know how that works. I have 7 of Hearts, and for me it's often like a threat of something, a breakdown in relationships. That's 7 of Hearts. But as soon as the loss is accepted, and I have lost that friend, or I had that quarrel or something, that very thing tends to like come back. It repairs itself. It's like you get over you get right towards the catastrophe, like the what do you call it, where you fall down, like the canyon, and in the very last moment, with one wheel in the air, you turn back and you go back. So in a way, it never happened. I mean, the disaster was just there. It's like waking up from a bad dream, really. Everything was going to hell, and next day it's as if the birds are singing. It's as if nothing happened. So this is a high capacity for avoiding hardships at an early stage, or at it's there, it's happening, but then it never truly come to fruition, if you can say so, about the catastrophe, right? Well, out of that experience, being able to handle hardships and avoid hardships, they gain self-love. 8 of hearts. And the Mars position is so wonderful. It's like really a beating heart. If you have a nice Mars card, it's a wonderful thing to have. Having a nice Mars card means having a difficult Mars card, right? You want a difficult Mars card because it means that you are capable of dealing with hardships and leave it behind. Because the Mars card will leave something behind. Like in school, right? We work hard on that essay and then we just throw it away because we don't need it anymore. We want to continue in life, right? So it's like a pumping heart. You go into that experience with passion, with strength, with conviction, and you have that experience and then you just throw it away. So it's on and it's off. It's on and it's off. So it's like a pumping heart, really. So this is something that vitalizes and oxygenates the spread of Queen of Spades, because it pumps blood to the ecliptic. And from the ecliptic, there is a stream to the 7th card. And to the 8th card, because this is the 8. Okay? The 8 takes the energy over here, but the overlying card allows some energy going over to the Rahu Saturn card. So this experience motivates them, strengthens them in their braveness, in their courage and need for dealing with Saturn and Rahu positions, which again is the very reason that we are here, right? To overcome the obstacles of Saturn, to having the courage to let go, just as Saturn says. Saturn says just let go of it, you don't need it. But for most of us it's hard to let go of. There is a clinginess in that position. And Ketu teaches us to look through the illusion of the word, and to learn to realize that our real word is our inner word, right? That's where it really happens. Okay. What more? Yeah, the Neptune card. It's a longing. Well, you know what? We're speaking about 10 of Spades. The overlying card of the let go of emotional security card is the Saturn. Don't be clingy. The essence of that, the extraction of this experience is 10 of Spades. That feeds their Queen of Hearts on the Pluto card. The experience of, okay, I let go of, I'm not going to be clingy, I let go of security, of I don't need a special person, I have emotional security within, so I can let go of the outer form. Now I dare to face my inner demons, my dark side. That experience takes me over to the very tough Pluto card, which says, actually, I'm not sure that I need to be in a long-term relationship. I'm better off alone, which is probably true for most Queen of Spades. I'm not saying that a Queen of Spades cannot have a happy long-term relationship, but I would say that it's hard for them to find a partner who is tolerant enough or self-secure enough, secure in their own 8 of Hearts, to be able to withstand or the independency of Queen of of spades, because a Queen of Spades person is never going to depend on you. They are very, very free, and for most people that spells out lack of interest. You can't control a Queen of Spades person by trying to making them jealous. They're just going to turn around and walk away, you know. There is no place for jealousy in a relationship with a Queen of Spades. If you are with a Queen of Spades person and try jealousy as a manipulation trick, you are doomed, right? It's hard enough for them to just be in a long-term relationship. It's the Pluto card. So the partner really has to respect the boundaries of Queen of Spades and realize that they are very, very... It's like a cat, really. They are free people who come and go as they want. Of course, there are rules. If it means screwing around, you know, well, that possibly is not acceptable. So that's not what... I mean, it depends on everyone. I'm not suggesting that anyone should accept their partner to have many lovers or something like it, or be married to another person. So obviously, especially when speaking about sexuality, there have to be rules. There has to be rules. But emotionally wise, you can never tie down a Queen of Spades, and it's like soap. The more you try to keep them, to grab them, the more they're sliding away, which I believe is exactly what happened to my aunt Lucia, the wife of my uncle, because there was love and they had 4 kids together, but I think they were both very frustrated. He felt tied down, and I think that she felt that he did not give her much attention. Okay, but it's something that they have to go through and live through. So again, the cycle, I mean, goes on here, right? It's gonna take them to this experience. And here we have a 9 of clubs as an overlying card. Which is like a better word, an ideal word, but that doesn't lead... Well, it leads to the 9th position, of course, because it's a 9. But let's leave it there for now. And then we have this position, which is quite interesting, Neptune, because it's like they're longing. It's a spade, and it's a black spade. This is 4, 5, and 6 spades, so we have... Actually, there is a 6 of spades here too. It's more 5 of spades, but it's also a 6 of spades. So these cards are, in a way, the same. There is a sameness to them. Very close cards. And what is it that King of Spades want? The Queen of Spades want? They want maturity. They want to be mature, but they also want to meet mature people, to be in situations that are handled in a mature way, right? That goes back to 9 of spades, yeah. A 9 of spades experience of being alone and so on. And it goes over to 2 of spades, which is not needing much. This is independence. 6 of spades is independence based on being the healthiest, strongest tree in the forest. So being a healthy, independent, mature individual, right? But 2 of spades is being independent due to lack of needs. In the Aditya system, that would be like Pushan, right? I'm independent because I don't need much. This is the capacity for being able to live on a rocky island, to survive on a rocky island and be happy doing that, right? So their innermost dream, their vision of life, where they feel most alive and most realized as a person, is in the experience of maturity. Although it's a very playful card, but that doesn't mean that you can be mature, right? There is one moment for play, and then you can be a mature person play too, right? and even more so perhaps when you get older. Anyway, so that dream, that experience that they're very much gravitates towards because they long for it, carries over to their K2 card, and so it gives them a chance to mature, because the K2 card again is where we really open up our personality, our package, and can discover ourselves on a deeper level. Like, wow, I did not know that I have this capacity. What capacity? Capacity for doing fantastic stuff, being skillful? No, that's not what fascinates Queen of Hearts, because they have been there. Queen of Spades, they have been there, they have done that, right? Being skillful, yeah, cool, doesn't matter. But here in the K2 card, wow, I didn't know that I have such a high capacity for not needing much. You know, I didn't realize I need so little. But that's an experience that comes late in life. First, I mean, if 48 is late, I'm 57, right? My uncle lived to 84, but let's say relatively late in life. First, they have to solve the problem of the force not being clingy, not being needy. Trust on their capacity to solve problems, and they have it within. You don't need the outer world much, right? Because you have it within. And then at 48 years old and so on, the gates are open. If they really do this experience of letting go of neediness, safety, trusting their own inner safety, well, then they can discover their great capacity for a simple life and gaining independence through a simple life. And that to them is going to be much more fascinating than being ever so skillful. People would drool for having their capacity for a lot of things that they can do, right? Drawing, or playing an instrument, or cooking on a good level, or, I mean, as I said, my uncle, he was also a good tailor, like sewing his own clothes to a degree, and knitting and so on. And people would find that very enviously. For them, that's normal, but being able to survive on little, that's something to have. That's valuable to them, right? So that comes from the experience of maturity, and that's where they want to deepen their understanding of themselves. That's where they want to find themselves, the capacity they want to develop. And now, look how this goes over to the Jupiter card. So now we are going to the Jupiter card, which is King of Clubs, fed by the experience of Two of Hearts, of not needing much, okay? And this is something that for most of the life, or at least for the early part of the life, is going to avoid, to be an expert. They don't want to be an expert. Why? Because being an expert defines you. So if you are a really good violinist, that's what you should do. But they don't want to, because they want to play the violin for a while, and then he wants to ride a bicycle, right? Or he wants to do, or she wants to sail a boat, or, I mean, he wants to try so many things. So they resist being an expert. They don't want society to tie them down to one specific role. Society or their partner or whatever there it is, right? So there is a huge resistance towards becoming an expert. And also they don't want to be seen as responsible in the realm of activity, meaning that they don't want to be in the lead, because being in the lead ties them down. They don't want to be a king, basically. They shy away to a degree from responsibilities. which is something that is going to change over the years. So maybe when they, I mean, after all, the event I told you about, when my grandmother would have turned 100 years old. Well, by then my uncle was 67, I think, and he was in the lead. He took the lead. So they are going to do that, but until a certain age they're going to shun away from. I mean, they would probably be the best politicians. They would probably be the best leaders. Why? Because they don't want to. You know, in our time, every psychopath want to be a leader, and it works fine on television being a sociopath or a psychopath, so they do become a leader. I don't have to mention any names. Sociopaths in the lead, and they are not very good at it. And the best politician, the best mayor or something, is probably the one that hides in the wood. That the people has to. I mean, there has to be a search party with dogs and everything, looking for the mayor, and there he is hiding under a root, you know, and at gunpoint the people will force him to come out, and they will bring him into the city, and they will sit him in the chair, and they're gonna tell you are going to lead us. That's potentially a good leader. That could be king of spades, because they are capable and they are creative, and they have so many good things going for them, and also they don't want to be in the lead. I mean, I'm speaking about the default state here, right? The default person. There could be other indications, especially from the horoscope, that indicates something different. But I would be a little surprised if one of these, to find a king of spades in a, you know, I wanna be position in politician or so on. Like, let me take the lead, me first. Maybe in younger years, actually, that could happen before the king matures. It could happen up to a certain age that they go into a compensatory state and want to be on a leader, right? Want to be seen and want to take the lead. That is true. That could happen with a younger king of spades. After a certain age, no way. They are not one. I don't see that. To be tied down in a leading role. What more? I didn't mention when we were speaking about the Mars card. The 7 of spades also makes them, many king of spades, very good at sports. Because 7 of spades, it's like a nightmare card. There are a few of them. 10 of spades is a nightmare card. 9 of spades is tough. 7 of spades is like dealing with physical hardships, you know, like drug addiction and amputation and hard stuff, like when the body ceases to function well. But in Mars position, it means that you can deal with that really well. So that makes you a perfect runner, like marathon runner or cyclist. You know, my uncle, he was a cyclist. I don't think he competed. There is a sport in Sweden, in some other countries, where you run around in the forest looking for some with a map. So they hide away a screen, and you have to find this screen, like a screen made of some textile material. Now it's plastic, of course, and you have to find this spot looking at the map, and it's a track, like 10 or 15 or 20 of these, and and then whoever the fastest one wins. But you have to find every one of them following the map. So you read a map in the forest, in the field, and run. And he did that for many years. And also he was he dedicated quite some time to cross country skiing, and there is a famous long distance race in Sweden, Vasaloppet. Many people participate in that. It's like 90 kilometers. So for a non-elite skier, it would probably take 5 to 6, 7 hours. And yeah, my uncle, I don't know how many times, but I'm pretty sure he did it. Probably more than one time. And I would guess that most Queen of Spades appreciate that kind of physical challenges. Like a woman, a Queen of Spades woman, she's probably very. I would expect her to have a natural knack for giving birth, which is obviously exactly the kind of talent or challenge that we are speaking about here. Okay. And then there is one card that has been forgotten, I believe, so far, which is much more important than I haven't given it importance enough, and that's the wonderful moon card. I should have underlined more how important it is to have this very trusting. I don't think I mentioned that 9 of Diamond is so much about faith and about trust, because it relates to the Fool card in the Major Marcana and the tarot deck, and that is the Fool, right? Let's see. I have to check. I hope I haven't moved. I have moved it a little here, right? Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Can I? Or is it okay? Yeah, it's okay. So that's how it should be. Which makes them they have a natural faith in life, which is another reason why they have this courage to let go of, and they have to have this courage, right, of not being clingy. Why would you cling if you have the experience of, if you have this connection to the divine? So that's a very important card to point out that they have, and it feeds the loop. It feeds the underlying card, the root of their birth card, because it's Diamond. So they come from Queen of Diamond, being on top of things, of material stuff, of the outer world. They have this natural connection to the divine, to some higher vibration, right? Which makes them dare to trust in life, which of course relaxes them to be able to be creative and so on. So there is an optimistic streak in them. It's gonna be fine. Don't worry. It's gonna be all right. Right? That's a tune that they would understand. My grandmother was evangelic, rather dogmatic when young. I knew her at a much higher age, and she was quite wonderful by then, not so dogmatic. I learned a lot of very good songs. I could sing them for you, but I'm not sure that you want to. I'm waking up my what do you call it, my stepdaughter here, not every morning but often enough, with some songs. Some of them are evangelic, and she does not appreciate it every time, so let's leave it there. Anyway, in this side of my father's family, of my family, there is this religious evangelic streak, and my uncle hated that. He did not continue the family tradition. Well, my grandfather wasn't into it neither, actually. It was my grandmother and her daughter, so my uncle's elder sister, that were heavily afflicted, if you ever dare to say, personal opinion there maybe, by quite dogmatic version of Christianism, and my uncle would not. I mean, he couldn't stand it. He was completely against it, but he was still. I think he was Christian. He spoke about church and so on. He was definitely spiritual in some way. So that comes natural to them, but especially that they have this faith in fate. You know, what's gonna happen is gonna happen, and it's gonna. You know, if you have a 9 of diamonds, you're not going to be very interested in steering the vehicle. It's more like sailing, and there is a strong current in the sea, and there is the wind, and it's you have some saying over the course, but basically you have to trust the wind and the current, and that's something that Queen of Spades have a natural understanding for. Okay, 5 of Hearts is the overlying card. It doesn't connect much to anything, as far as I can see. Yes, it does. It connects to the Pluto experience, the Pluto card, because this is Jack. This is 4, 5, and 6 of Hearts. So 5 of Hearts feeds their experience of I'm not so sure that I want to be in a long-term relationship. I'm not so sure if this really works. I have this experience of it's better to just flow in life. Having to deal with a relationship, I'm not sure. Okay. They develop a high criteria for relationships. That's 5 of Hearts. A knack for it's a justice card. So the red, all the 5s are judgment or justice card. They weigh and they measure and they decide whether this thing is worth having or not. Okay. And that's going to help them to break up from relationships that don't work. And that, in turn, is going to help them, you know how this goes. From here we go, how was it? I don't remember. 9 of, to the 9th experience and from there, so on. Okay. And then we have a strong correlation here between 2 of clubs and 2 of spades. The black twin cards. So the Mercury card, very central card for it's our strategy, how we deal with life. It feeds their K2 card directly on that level, right? And the experience, letting go of something, making an emotional sacrifice, feeds directly into their Pluto card again, because it's the 13th position, it's the king position. So I want to do this. I'm connecting to this manual. I want to finish this project. And no, my dearest, I'm not going to come over tonight because I'm busy studying. I'm busy connecting with this philosophy or whatever it is, right? So the Mercury strategy in life doesn't make them any more prone to have a relationship, have a long-term relationship. All the contrary. Girls just want to have fun, and the same thing can be said about Queen of Spades. They find the word, the material world, this realm, far too interesting for to be codependent. There is no place for codependence. I am not going to grant you your happiness. That's Queen of Spades. Sure, we can share an experience of being together. That would be an 11, you know. Ernst Wilhelm speaks about an 11 relationship. One individual with another individual. That's the only way that you can become and remain a partner to a Queen of Spades, unless you want a lot of suffering and frustration. As my uncle and my aunt, they were, again, I think there was a deep love, but there was also very much frustration, and I know there were both, I think, at least my uncle, considering at a late age to divorce, because they really need to be respected for their individuality, and they need to have a space for their creativity. They are busy discovering the world, and that's number one for them. That's what they want to do. And then finally, we haven't spoken about the Uranus card, right? 8 of Spades. What's being fed by what's feeding this? Let me try. Yeah, right. This loop goes on. So it starts here in 9 of Spades. It goes over to the K2 card in the Neptune card. It starts in the Neptune card. You see, there is a growth here. It goes on, because this is 2 of Spades. It goes on growing through the K2 experience. So this is not going to happen fully. This energy flow is not going to open up until late. It's more or less closed off here in the K2 card until this card opens up at 48. Okay, and after that. But after that age, there is going to be a steady flow from this Neptune card through the K2 card into the Uranus card and to the Uranus card. Jupiter card is this, right? Jupiter card. 8 of Spades is the overlying card, the future of King of Clubs. And that feeds the Uranus card, which is their uniqueness. They're good at dealing with stuff, right? Their inner child, their innermost, their inner diamond, they're really good at dealing with stuff, like practical stuff. And it's being fed by all this process, and that feeds their Moon card for sure, because there is a 2 here, and it feeds their Venus card. So we are back there. Why? Because it's a 6, and a 6 feeds the Venus card. Both these cards feeds the Venus experience, being the 6th card, but also it's a 2 of diamonds. And Jack is a 2 of diamond too. It's first and foremost, an ace of diamond, but it's also a 2 of diamond. So it goes over to the Venus card, which takes it to the Sun card, which takes it to the Ecliptic card, which takes the energy to the Saturn card for being the 7th through the 8th, and to the Rahu card. So you see, round and round it goes. Can you see? It's like a circular system, really, how the blood flows in a spread. And to what a degree, at least in this spread, the Mars card works like a pumping heart, and to what a degree it helps Queen of Spades to have difficult, hard experiences. But again, they want mature people around. They don't want to deal with tiny, dramatized, neurotic situations. They are open to deal with real hardship, like war, or giving birth to a child, or something of that, or running a really tough marathon, like a real challenge. That is okay with Queen of Spades, but spare me the drama, no whining. So I think that's all for now. Thank you very much.